She took Malta's breath away, and she took ours away too. Claudia Faniello is going to Eurovision. You guys, Claudia Faniello has been trying to win this contest for years. I think this was her 10th try. She is not just Sweden's Sanna Nielsen, she is Malta's Claudia Faniello. And hopefully she will have a good result at Eurovision as well. Robin, what do you think of the song?
If I'm going to be completely honest, it wasn't one of my favorites coming into the show. It's a really old-fashioned ballad, but I think that's why it's won. People, one of the reasons she's been trying with the multinational final for so long, and I think people were thinking it's her turn. She's got a song that reminds them of sort of Eurovision 10 years ago. It's really nostalgic and gentle and lovely, and I think that's what her big appeal was. So it remains to be seen whether the viewers of Eurovision will feel the same way, but I can see why she won.
Yeah, I think she was by far one of the best singers in the competition. Even there were many good singers in the competition, but I think Claudia was one of the... Maybe she wasn't that shouty, like most of the female vocalists are usually really shouty, but Claudia really had good vocals, but in like really nice way. It wasn't hard for your ears to listen to her singing. Yeah, the song is really dated for me. It doesn't belong to 2017, and I think that is partly because the songwriters Philip Vella and Gerard James Borg have been writing songs since early 2000s, and this is their 6th song in the competition, but their 5 songs were in early 2000s, and the latest was in 2008 when Morena represented Malta with Vodka, and that song is completely different to this. I don't know why Malta liked this so much, because there were better songs, but just like Robin said, I think they saw Claudia and thought that she really deserves to go to Eurovision finally, and maybe she don't have to try again and again and again and again, just like she did before.
Yeah, her music to me, it fits into a kind of almost Christian pop genre. Her song Pure, it's all very kind of inspirational, moody music. It shows off her power vocals. The woman has some big lungs, and she also had some other ample assets on fine display this evening. She looked amazing in that mermaid hip-hugging dress. I don't know, it's kind of like France has Marianne as its symbol, but it's almost like Malta chose Claudia as Miss Malta. There was a Miss Universe quality when she walked down the stage and the camera showed her from the side. Yeah, she's powerful is what I'm trying to say, and she knows her genre, she knows what kind of music she likes, and she sticks with it. She performed at the Wee Wee Jam, and let's just say when she sang Pure, it was very pure. She was so just vocally sound, and that came through tonight. I think it probably helped her that she performed last, and of course that was a result of a random draw. They drew the first act and the last act, and she... luck was on her side this time. She's been trying so long. It's good to see that finally it has been on her side. Personally, I was more into Janice Mangione, just because it was in Maltese, and for me it sounded much more interesting. Whereas Claudia, well, a great vocalist, this is very Trisha Yearwood, who I think probably was 10 or 15, maybe even 20 years ago at this point. But taste is local. I don't know if this will translate globally across the pan-European stage, but I know that she will deliver live in Kyiv.
Yeah, Janice was one of the real highlights of the evening. Her song, there was a lot of support for her song, both from just general Eurovision fans and I think in Malta coming into the show. And, she came second, and it was a really well-deserved second. I think maybe if Claudia had been performed earlier in the show, maybe Janice would have actually won it, which would have been great. But yeah, she deserved her position. And then third place went to Kevin Borge, who with his Follow. And that was one that I think a lot of people were sort of thinking, he's got a really good voice, but his song isn't all that good. And I sort of wonder if he won because he's like the local hero, for the similar reasons that that Claudia had support, because he's just a really well-liked performer. And, maybe his time will come again, to represent Malta.
Yeah, if I had to choose between Claudia and Janice, I would choose Janice. Also, just because I really want to see how Maltese language do in Eurovision.
Yeah.
Because we haven't heard Maltese language in the contest, and I think that is why Maltese people are afraid to sing a song in Maltese, because they don't know what will happen to it. And the song was really good. Also, I really liked Janice. I think the song was. She had great vocals, but the song was more, I think it really had melody compared to Claudia's song, what is mostly just good vocals. And one act I really like was Maxine Pace. I think she was just amazing. I like her so much, and that was something different compared to all the acts in the final, what wasn't actually that strong. I don't think that this final was, it was far from my favorite selections in this year. But Maxine Pace was one of the acts I really hoped that it would do well, and I knew that she wasn't going to Kyiv, but I was hoping for a good result.
BOOM, better called the Bomb Squad. She was on point. She's still, I think, 17. She's very young. She has time to mature. She's going to be back and she's going to win eventually. I have to say, this televote, having 100% televote, if there had been a jury, I'm not sure Claudia would have won, because I think that a lot of the local support Robin was talking about helped push her up, and maybe a jury would have been as mesmerized by Janice's, Maltese language realness as we were. We have to talk about Brooke. Brooke, of course, was our huge favorite among a lot of Euro fans and the Wee Wee jury and our poll coming into this. But like the replay, when they did the brief replay of the songs, they chose a bad clip of her, and it's almost like that probably did hurt her. I don't think this was her best performance. I think at times, maybe at least on my internet stream, it came off a little pitchy or shouty. I still love the song. I still love her, and her moment will come as well, I hope.
Yeah, the song, like what I said in my Wee Wee jury review, the song seems written to showcase her voice. Like that's sort of its first priority. Its second priority is being a good song, and her voice wasn't completely on point. So when she was delivering the big notes and they weren't quite hitting the mark, that was really, that became a big weakness in the performance. And yeah, apparently the recap clips were actually chosen by the artist, maybe chosen in advance, not expecting that this would be a bum note for her. But yeah, it just, she seemed to be really over singing, and maybe it felt like it was cracking under the pressure. It wasn't, the whole performance wasn't quite holding up, and it wasn't being very spectacular. And the message is really just, we are unstoppable. And whereas I think with Claudia's song, it had more of a more gentle message, something that maybe people could relate to more.
Yeah, I must say I was surprised that Brooke didn't she wasn't in the top 3, but I didn't like the song that much either. I think, just like Robin said, it was all about her vocals, and the vocals weren't that good tonight. I think people really liked her last year and wanted her to win this year because, of course, Ira won last year and Brooke was close second, so they wanted her to go this year. But I'm like William said, I really think that Brooke's time will come. Because she is really good singer and she looks great on the stage, but the song, it wasn't strong enough. And like I said before, Claudia's vocals weren't shouty, Brooke was really shouty, and that was the difference between Claudia and Brooke tonight. If she comes back with a song that really shows off her vocals, but not in this really shouty way, I think she really can shine and one day maybe even win Eurovision.
What's interesting is Claudia's song, yes, it's a ballad, but there's a softness to it. It's almost like the voice isn't coming from here, it's coming from here or something, but the song is written that way. And so you feel the power, but you're not put off by the wall of sound. And maybe some of the other singers tonight, it was more of a wall of sound, kind of amplification as opposed to precision. I don't know if that makes any sense, but there's a quality to Claudia's voice that's showcased in that song, which I think is quite nice. Final question for both of you, and I know it's hard because we don't know all of the songs competing at Eurovision, but does this seem like an automatic qualifier to you, or is it a borderline qualifier?
I, it might be a surprise qualifier. Like there are a lot of female ballads in the competition last year, and we saw that also in 2015, and that proved to be an advantage to anyone who wasn't a female ballad, like Mons, for example. So I guess it all depends on how their semi-final shapes up, what she's going to be up against. If there are stronger ballads, she might get overshadowed. On the other hand, if there are a lot of big poppy songs, she might be like a lovely little oasis of calm in the middle of that, a bit like Gabriella last year. So, yeah, I'd say a borderline qualifier.
I'm feeling the same way. I don't think it's the best song chosen so far, and I don't think this is a song that maybe someone will think that it's their favorite, but most people don't. Just like Robin said, I think the running order is really important in this case because the song, it's not a bad song, but it's really forgettable if you don't really listen to songs before. Like, I think it will grow on me before May, but when you hear it the first time, I don't think people will remember it. So it's not the best of the ballads so far. It's not the best song so far. So I think it depends what songs will be chosen after this. But I think it's just borderline, or maybe it will be even out from the semifinals. But Malta has done well in the past year, so maybe it's just because of Malta, it will do well.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope...
Malta. Oh, I was going to say, Malta always does well with juries, so maybe luck will be on their side again this year.
Yes, let's hope they are. It wasn't on Taya Garrett's side in 2010. You remember she had that well-oiled man with wings? This is why when I hear a Maltese woman singing a ballad, I get nervous. Granted, there was Kiara, but for some reason I always associate it with Taya Garrett and not qualifying. And you know, I want Malta to qualify, the little island that could. They're so nice. We love going to Junior Eurovision. They slay. We want them to win this. We want to go to Malta for 2 weeks for Eurovision one day. I don't think that'll be next year. I don't think they're winning. I think this is a borderline qualifier, but with the right staging and the right luck, she can push through. At least I'm hoping. In any case, that is what we think. What do you think? Are you left breathless by Claudia and her voice and her beauty and her booty? You can let us know here on wiwibloggs.
And if you like it, click like.
And also subscribe to our channel.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.